Good evening, everybody. Josiah, good evening. I hope you're ready, right?
Good evening, ma. Yes, ma, I am.
Yeah. Okay, let's give people like 5 minutes more.
Okay.
Then we'll start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Um, Happy Sunday to every one of us. My name is Josiah Banjo, and anchoring for today. I trust you are all doing well. Let's just type in a 101 in the chat box if you are all here. Just
Good
type in a 101 in the
evening.
chat box. I hope you can hear me very well.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Very well. Thank you so much, Santimoto. Awesome, awesome. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Uh, the third week of our book reading challenge. It's been an awesome journey thus far, and I'm really sure that a lot of us have, been gaining a lot of things as we've been journeying from the introduction, from the beginning. A lot of paradigms have been is being shifted, gradually, and it's been an awesome book. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we'll be going straight up to the quiz, and we have just 5 minutes for the quiz. So once I paste the link, let's just rush. Name is very important. Put in our name, our group, and answer the questions. So I'll be sending it now. This is 707. So once it's 712, we'll be closing the link. So I will be sending that now. I hope you can all see that. I'm sending it to the group chat now. So that's the link for the test. Let's rush into it and take the test. Just a revision of, just to refresh our memories on everything we've done in this first chapter, which is in this first part one of paradigms and principles, the 7 habits and overview. So let's get that up. So we have just 5 minutes. If you're having any challenges, accessing the test, just indicate here so that we can work out whatever it is. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. I have just 10 questions to do. Sorry, there was an outage. We have 3 more minutes to go. Just 3 more minutes.
I pushed so hard I couldn't see beyond the pain. I never knew I made it high enough to notice. I'm getting closer, stronger than I've ever been. I believe that I'm unstoppable. I believe I've only
more minutes. Please.
To risk it all, to face my deepest, darkest fear. To live a dream much bigger than I can imagine. 'Cause I want the world to know that I am here. I believe that I'm unstoppable. I believe I've only just begun. I will conquer, I will fight to reach my peak. I will, and there's nothing that can ever bring me down. I believe that dreams are untamable, and I
You know, you
believe
can check the chat
that
box
we're
to be able to
made to fly.
include proceed. So I will know if you can. If you've been able to complete it, please just indicate on the chat box. Is anybody done with the piece? No response. I'll take that as no one is done with the piece yet. So just 2 additional minutes for the kick off. So you can just indicate in the chat box once you're done with the piece. So we can continue. Just indicate in the chat box once you're done.
Vede speaker alichoka na mwaka. Kuma nyege na yole tena. Disconnect audio. Video.
1 more minute. We can put on our videos if we can, so we'll be able to see our faces and relate better. 1 more minute for the
Yeah, I was just going to that. Please, we'd like to see people on video as much as possible. The connection is different. We are not playing hide and seek here. So please, let's see your faces. We want to have the connection, part of our networking strategy. And your face is important. That's why Facebook was created. We want to see your face. How are you, Faith? It's good to see you. You're welcome. God bless you. So please, as many of us that are in position that we can, switch on those videos. Why are you hiding your faces, please? We want the connection. The connection is very important, and the face is very good for the connection. You can switch it off afterwards, but we must see your face. And for many of us, standard practice in most organizations that attend their events on Zoom, they actually always request for people to put on the videos, because most times people put on their Zoom, and the woman is busy cooking. The attention is not there. Sometimes you can feel these things. So we need to feel your connection. We want you to be really, really part of this. If we want to dedicate the 1 hour, then let's really be fully in it. So please, as many of us that can, let's see our faces. I can see Blessing David. Nice to see you. Awesome. Okay. Why are all these people hiding their faces? Let's see your face. What are we hiding? Yeah, please, let's. Some people we are seeing some people crashing in. So good evening, everyone. You're all welcome. Over to you, Josiah, just for
Good
us
evening,
to. Yeah, good evening. You can see the connection is different.
Mommy,
Okay, Josiah, over to you. Thank you.
So much, sir.
Mhm.
So far, just 3 responses. I guess some people are still trying to fill in. So we'll just be going ahead. I'm sure that for those of us that have been able to go through this book, we've seen through this third part, that is part 1, paradigms and principles, the 7 habits and overview. So Stephen Covey was just going through, taking us through the journey that we'll be going through ourselves for the next 6 habits we'll be talking about. And I found it really great, fascinating. But before we go on to discuss,
Video question.
Mm,
Reading.
yeah, before we go on to discuss about our light bulb moments, questions, and all of that, I'll be handing over now to today group 2 will be taking us through their group review, and the coaches of group 2 is Coach Kenny, Coach Tai and Coach David Blessing. So they'll be taking us through their review and just teaching us what their group has been able to come up with in discussions on several things, their light bulb moments, questions that came across their minds, and just share with us before we go into discussion majorly. So I would like to hand over to Coach David Blessing to take us through the group 2 preview.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay, I'm Blessing David from the team. Okay, so can everybody hear me?
Loud and clear.
yes, we can.
Oh, okay. So starting off with the habits and overview. So it started off defining what our habits are and how our habits lead to our character and how we lead to also our destiny. Then it went on and to how our habits are then it went on to defining the habits and the intersection between knowledge, skill, and desire. So one thing that really caught my attention in this part, rather in this page of the book, was that our happiness can be defined if we as a fruit of our desire and ability to sacrifice what we know now for what we want to know eventually. So the knowledge is what we need to do, why we need to do the things we need to do, and our skills are how to do what we need to do. Then our desire is what we want to do. Then we moved on to the maturity continuum. Then it went on saying that it started defining independence, dependence, and interdependence. Really, from I read this book. So independence is when you choose, when you decide, or when you have this responsibility of I myself, I can choose to do this. I can be self-reliant. I am responsible. I can do all those sorts. Then interdependence is when we say we can do it, we can cooperate together, we can combine our talents and abilities and create something greater together. Then dependent people are those people that rely on other people, rather rely on other people to make decisions for them. Or sometimes I realize in this book that you might think you are actually very distinct based on people's or what people will say about you. Then dependent on people's opinions of you, or people's thoughts of you, or you're looking up to someone and then thinking, oh, this is the person I look up to. I start depending on what the person is going to say about you. So it might look like you're being independent. It might look like you're being independent, but it takes a conscious and intentional self-check to know that, okay, yeah, in this aspect, or in this aspect, or in this aspect, in the choices I make, in the decisions I make, I'm actually depending on what people will say about me before doing certain things. So that's one thing that really caught me for my personal self. So it also moved on to effectiveness defined. Then it gave an analogy of the poor farmer and the golden egg. That when the farmer has a goose that raised egg, so one day he found out that the goose actually raised a golden egg. He tried using it and he found out, oh, this is pure gold. I can't believe this is a good purchase. Then he kept on reaping of the fruits rather reaping of the eggs from the goose. Then it got to a point when he became so selfish and he killed the goose, hoping that he would see the eggs inside the goose. Actually, that was actually hilarious for me because I was wondering, how will you see all the eggs inside the goose? So then eventually it led on to talking about the P and PC balance. The P stands for production of our desired results, which is the golden egg. Then the PC is the production capability. That's actually the asset that produces eggs at every given point in time. Then he moved on to the three kinds of assets, which are the physical, financial, and the human assets. Then he went on talking about greatest financial assets, excuse me, which is our capacity to earn, and then in improving our PC and with and how we options. Then it's and daughter were telling the father that she wanted to watch I think Star Wars, yeah, wanted to watch Star, and the father was like, okay, we join her to watch it. They were like, you, why there's no need bothering you? Why don't I watch it myself? So that was like, no, let's do it together. So she reached out to her dad in a way. She told him that, oh, do you know that this is about the training of people and so. Then he was like, oh, really? So she caught his attention with an experience or with something he could relate to. That's like the simple term. He caught his attention with something he could relate to. And that's when the bonding started, and that's when it became satisfying to him. Then it said in the book that we enjoyed golden eggs too as the group, but the relationship is what is significantly said. Then it moved on to occasional PC, which is one of the valuable assets of any correct principle. So then it went on and on. I don't bore a lot of details. Then then the chapter, or rather, there was a sub there when it topic where it said how to use the book, talk about how to use the book. Then it said, don't use the book as one random book or a material you just read and just drop in the shelf again. That try to use it as a gradual thing. Read it, digest it, so that you can be able to get the most of it. The continual process for our change, our growth. That it's like an occasional intentional thing that you do every once in a while. You also encourage that we should also read the book maybe in a group and also give a summary to someone so that you can be able to know that, okay, yeah, I'm growing in this aspect. So, and also it's also like saying, oh, I'm being accountable. I'm trying to understand every single thing you read in the book. That's what the author advised. Yeah. So at the end it said, what can we expect? So now I'm throwing a question to every one of us here. That what do we expect from this book? How can we use this to? Sorry, I got distracted. How can we use this book to relate to our personal life? Not just saying, okay, yeah, this is a book we read together. So it won't be like a normal, routine for us. So I can be able to relate it to our individual life and be able to understand that, okay, yeah, in this aspect, this is where I'm slacking. In this aspect, this is where I need to improve upon. In this aspect is where I need to do some certain things. This aspect I need to work. In this aspect I need to make decisions. In this aspect I need to be independent or depend on myself or all those kind of things. So now I'm asking a question for everyone here. How can this book relate to our individual lives? I'm actually waiting for answers from each and every one of us.
You can go ahead and unmute your mic and just answer the question.
Okay, please, can you repeat the question?
Okay, I said that in our individual life, after reading this aspect of, oh yeah, being independence, dependence, and interdependence. So I'm asking now that how can this relate to your own personal life and growth? Because when you can relate to your own circumstances, it's easier for you to flow. That was the question I asked.
Did you all get the question? Anybody?
Yeah, so I think what Blessing was trying to say, when I was reading too, he made some jots and like application, and that is, I think, one of the things I would also want each and every one of us to emphasize upon as we read. For example, as he was talking about habits and all, I wrote in my jot, I said, question, what are the positive versus negative habits that are defining my life? So that was my own, personal, and I think some people might like to share, some might not like to share. So I'm just trying to explain the context of our question, what are the positive or negative habits that are defining my life? And then I also put some action points like, okay, list out habits to be destroyed in my life. So, in my day-to-day life. So those are like practical applications of them. And yes, I think that's the extent of our question. I don't know if I want to share some of them yet, but maybe if we get there, I might want to share. Not yet. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Blessing, for asking that question. So, because we need to bring these things home, I have had to be reviewing a lot of paradigms I have. See, until you see the way until you change the way you see the world will remain same to you. And that man's story, who was in the train station and had lost his children, and the children were misbehaving, and somebody else was like, can't you just keep these kids quiet? It's actually a very good point of reference. We need to change the world, the way we see things. Many of us, we are where we are today because of the way we see the world. And for me, I am still challenging many positions I have, because I now see that things are not the way they appear. Things are the way I am seeing them. So what I'm seeing is not reality. That's where I'm going. And until we all get to this point, to know that, look, don't think your reality is the real reality. we might just be building castles in the air. And also, it's one of the easiest ways to get stuck in life. Challenge what you believe last year. You need to challenge it. And the only way to challenge it is to keep engaging, keep learning, keep getting new facts, keep getting new data. And then you will know that that's the only way you can change your position. So I think for me, it's something that we need to challenge ourselves. Why do I think that I'm not making progress? Because maybe my relatives are not helping me enough, or people are not helping me enough. Until you drop those things and start seeing things differently, you need to ask yourself, why? Why are other people making progress? I'm not making progress. We always have excuses, you know. So I think that's one of the ways that we can really apply and engage this book to ourselves. Thank you. Hope I didn't take too much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So it's very important to not just read the book, get light bulb moments, but also applying it to our day-to-day life. So for instance, you read a particular line or talking about production capacity. Okay, in my present life, how have I focused more on the produce rather than focusing on the tool? Or how have I focused more on the assets rather than focusing on the tool? So you just, putting your life into what you're actually reading. That way, it will be able to help you, give you, these are the things I need to do in order to, change them. Thank you so much, group, to really awesome presentation. I'm sure we all picked one or two things that, really impacted us. So now I'd just like to ask for every other person, yes, this was supposed to have been done earlier. So I'd just like you to just type in your group number. So if you're in group 1, just type in for attendance sake. Group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, like that. So just type in your group in the chat box as we continue. Type in the group you are in the chat box. So just thank you so much, sir. So we're moving on to questions and light bulb moments for each one of us. So I just like to ask any one of us just something that really struck you while you were going through this part of the book, this aspect that we had for the previous week. Something that you read and really hit that note inside of it. That, okay, yes, this is something I would like to work with. This is something I would like to work on. Just type in the chat, or it's best for us to just unmute ourselves and speak.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah. A few things that really caught my attention. Sorry, my video is not on. There are so many, not in a good space here. But I'll just quickly share one or two things. Number one, do not focus only on the results. The process is equally important. And we saw that in the story of the goose, the farmer and the goose. So to be able to, I said that the sustainability of results is paying attention to the process. So if you want to have a consistent success story, then it's so important you pay important attention to the process. Okay. Then I must continually increase and improve on my PC. That's my capability to learn. That was a major light bulb moment for me. And I must continually increase and improve on my capacity to learn and to be the best in every area of life. The best, not necessarily in comparison to anyone, but to be the best, that God wants me to be. Best in comparison with the ability invested in me by God himself. Best wife, best mother, best employee, best group member, and stuff like that. So those are the things that really came out very strongly to me. Then I said, when you invest in the goose, that is your PC now, your production capability. When you invest in the goose, you will continuously have golden eggs. You will continuously have golden. I have so many things, but the last one I'll just say is that it's an uphill battle. it's an uphill battle, trying to change habits. I realized that paradigm, like we did last week, paradigm is the basis for everything. So if I want to change anything in my life, the first thing I need to change is my paradigm concerning that matter. And I'm saying that it's an uphill battle. It's not easy, but the advantages are numerous, and the cost-benefit ratio is a strong motivation. So I'd just like to stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. That was a really great one. Do not focus only on results. The process is equally important, just like we've seen in throughout the book when it was talking about actually the fable on the goose and the golden egg. And just as I said, for lasting results, we need to pay close attention to the process. And that just reminds me of when we had our first book reading for the year. That's Good to Great. One of the things that transited most of the companies to being a great company was because there was the process. They paid close attention to the process that kept stretching them the results. Why for those that the comparison companies that were good but didn't have any lasting effect, they didn't really pay attention to the process. That way, they could not continue to produce the results. So it is very important that in our everyday life, we should not just focus on getting things done, doing it the way it's supposed to go and all, but the relationships that lead to that, the assets that lead to that. Thank you very much, Mark. Does anyone want to share any other thing that stood out for you? Wow. Going through the book. Can I just unmute some mics now? Go ahead.
Okay. Can I talk?
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think it was the concluding part of the book. I'll start from the concluding part of the book that talks about the writer was saying that, okay, the most important habit is the one you're having the most important time living. And, I wonder why, it's so easy for us. It's very hard to, discipline ourselves for the positive and good habits, while it's so easy to just indulge in the ones that are not, good. And so whenever this battle is at work, it's an indicator that habit you're trying to change, you're trying to work on, is a good one. Once there's this battle and the negative seems to be winning, so you're on the right path. That's like a judgment for it, a determinant, for what should be your actual values. I would also say, like, okay, this period of my life, I was trying to do a lot of adjusting. I have seen that there's a lot more I'm involved in, and yet, like, how can I measure up? How can, okay, I think the question is increasing my production capability. And I know that is from those books and from my recent practices, I'm beginning to understand that it is very much possible to raise my production capability. And it doesn't have to be static, but as long as I'm putting in more, I'm calculating my physical assets. Yeah, there's also the dichotomy of the physical assets and situations where we might feel physical assets leads to an increase in production capability. But it is very wrong, because eventually physical assets will be depleted because they will be used to achieve the end, which is the production, the maximum production that can be utilized in one's life. I don't know if we're able to understand that analogy, but then we need to be able to count our costs. We need to be able to understand that, okay, what are my priorities? And concerning this, how am I able to transpose from this level of productivity to the next level of productivity? Because from the book, everything is progressive. And how do I keep getting better than I was yesterday? And the beginning of the book, again, was talking about excellence. They used one Aristotle quote. And I'm trying to say that excellence is not just a one-time act, but it is an habit. And I would say that it grows over time. It is consistent practice that becomes sustainable. So have I gotten to the point in my life whereby my excellence, a life of excellence has become sustainable? So it is not just today's excellence, it is not just tomorrow, but my goal is towards a sustainable, consistently sustainable life of excellence, which is the practice. So I don't know if that works, if we are able to understand the nitty-gritties of what I'm saying. And finally, I would round up by also talking about some habits. Okay, for example, I would say I'm working on diet plan, I'm working on my exercise plan, I'm trying to transpose, and despite my busy schedules, how do I fit these things in? But then I've seen that, yeah, I go to the gym today, I just want to, do a lot, spend a whole hour, and then I get home, I'm so tired, I can't do any other thing, But then I've understood also that it is in stages, it is in phases, and the key practice is the consistency part of it. It's just to get it done, just to keep moving, and just to keep outdoing myself what I've done yesterday. I'm not even in competition with myself as much as I'm not with anybody. I'm just at how do I utilize the maximum, my maximum capabilities. And I think that should be the overarching goal for a sustainable life of excellence. So I think that's all I'll say for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Priscilla. Thank you so much. Always improving ourselves, improving our production capability. And that was one thing that Stephen Covey also emphasized in the book over time, building the relationship, strengthening the relationship, maintaining, just like the example he gave with his machine, his lawn machine. The maintenance is also important of, keeping the producing assets in check, always checking it, and just like you said, always improving ourselves to improve our results. Thank you so much, man. That was really great. Really appreciate that. Okay, Mr. Emmanuel says if we don't continually invest in improving our PC, that is our producing capacity, we severely limit our options. So that was also one of the light bulb moments for me. In that, when we don't continue to, improve ourselves, this point was actually made when he was talking about our own earn to capacity when he was talking about financial assets. So until we continue to improve ourselves, we'll always limit our options of getting results. And that's just one of the things that Mrs. Priscilla has also emphasized on, continually to always improve ourselves. Thank you so much, Ma. Does anybody have any other thing to share with us as regards your light bulb moment or any question? Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, let me just chip in a bit, build up from what Priscilla said. If you look at the objectives of Navigating with Noel, Navigating with Noel is a tool to help people increase their production capability. That's why if you look at our 3 objectives, you will notice that you see learning, accountability, and networking. Now, these 3 things, when you put them together and you're doing them constantly, you're actually constantly increasing your production capability. There are so many of us who have joined, those who are actively involved in NWN. One thing I will guarantee you, if you're actively involved in NWN, in a minimum of a year, you will have so many options available to you, because when you increase your production capability, it means you have a lot of, you've learned so much, for me, there are so many things that, I've never lacked options, so to say. And part of the reason is because you are constantly fueling that production capability through learning, through accountability, and through networking. So I just want us to bring that to us and connect what we are doing with, this is just a very clear example of really why NWN exists. And you see sometimes I send trainings to you. I tell you, if you don't do this training, don't wish me happy birthday. The whole goal is this. I want to ensure that people are the best they can. Look at all of us gathered here for this 1 hour. We have other things to do, other things, more interesting things. There's TV to watch. These are times we would have spent with our family today. This is an evening and I would have been resting, but we have decided to invest this time in learning. And do you think God is an unjust judge? No way. So this is what NWM present to you is the process, but people don't like process. That's why how many people will come for something like this? But if you say, how many people want to succeed? How many people want to make money? If I say, come, and then want to have this thing on to make $1,000 in 1 month, you will see people that will come. But how many people are ready to go through the process? So once you're able to shift your paradigm, knowing that all these things we are going through is part of the process to getting us to that point of excellence. When you understand that having a good character is key to being excellent, you will not struggle not to have a good character, because you know that this good character that you are investing in is actually going to take you to where you want to become. You understand? We also believe that learning is earning. You can imagine somebody with that kind of a mindset. He will be a lifelong learner, because he knows that learning he's not just wasting his time, that he's going to use it to translate to value. He's going to use it to create value. So it's just something I just felt that we have a good opportunity to drive home the point. Why is it that these people are just, stressing themselves? Why all this book reading? Why all these monthly meetups? This is part of it. The goal is one, and it's just to increase our production capability. What we are trying to do is to ensure that we continue to nurture that goose so that we can continue to produce golden eggs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Very important thing to know, improving our production capacity. I also want to just read out, okay, Mr. Olida, you wanted to speak. You can go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. Can we all hear me, please? Good evening.
Loud and clear, sir. Good evening, sir.
Okay. One word that just struck my mind, and I want us to really key into this word today, the word process. And that's virtually everybody that spoke mentioned process. So the word process is very, very important, and that is why that part is very difficult. Because reading, taking your time to pick a book, read for a long time, finish one, start another one is a process. And everything we are doing, yeah, processes. 2018, I was sent to undertake some courses. They were very difficult courses. It got to a time, my friend that we went together said, do you think we can continue with this course? Because we had to read and read. Well, I must tell you, that particular training pays for me today, because I took time out, I put all energy for the process. And today I'm reaping the results. Pastor Noah can testify to what I'm saying. Because when somebody becomes a person that, oh, we cannot just discard this. That's what the process has earned. So it's an opportunity, just like Pastor Noah has said, when we have this kind of opportunity to develop ourselves, to grow, it's a process that we need to take on. One thing that this book really keyed into my mind, and which I've gradually stepped into, is this. Before now, when you do something, because there is something we call visibility, I discovered that, and that part of visibility involves, sending mail to your manager, telling him this is what I did, this is what I did, this is what I did. But I discovered that announcing yourself does not really work. So improving in other ways by teaching the guys around, carrying them along, making them to understand what I do. By the time they get to the manager, they get to different places, they tell them, oh, that guy is good, that guy is this, that guy is that. So doing that, that's involving others, putting it into others, not only you. And in that, it announces faster than what I was doing, the visibility, and the name was everywhere. So please and please, if we have not taken anything today, let's take the word process. It's very, very important. If you really want to progress financially, physically, in every area, process is very important. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Process is very important. It's also good announcements, not jumping to it. So that the last point you made just reminded me of when Stephen Covey was close to the ending of this section that we are reading. He said that is how to use the book. And he gave just 2 points that really stood out for me: to take the book, not just to take the material, not just as a book that we just read and just but a guide, something we should go back to over and over again, until even when we get to that point, to also keep ourselves in check and to read with the mindset to teach, reading to teach, reading to teach. That is not just coming up to say, okay, I read 2 chapters, I read 1 chapter, but reading to be able to translate that knowledge to someone. And what that does for us is that it does not just, help us to remember, but it also helps us to, live through what exactly we are teaching to others. And when we try to teach things to others, it's it's kind of it has a way of conditioning our minds to also live by them. So living by what you teach. And even when you are trying to go against that, oh, people around you that you thought to be like, oh, but you said something like this, you said something like this. That way to also help us to culture the right habits and also to break the wrong ones. Thank you so much, sir. Is there any other thing we need to add? Does anyone have any other thing to share with us as regards the life document?
Oh, yeah, I have something to say briefly. Just as we read, I think it would be good for us to question these principles and not just accept them hook, line, and sinker. We need to question them. We need to think about them. We need to disagree with them. That is how we can get the best from them. Not just taking it like okay, this is how it should be. No, not in all situations and circumstances. So there are some things I noticed today, and so please, every time we read through, let us question them, accept it as see it is a Bible. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Okay, go ahead now.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to appreciate NWN for this opportunity. That we have to do things like this. What we are doing is actually improving our PC, our production capability. And I'd like to just comment on some of the last few words that the writer talked about. He said that the change is from inside out. You can only open that gate of change from the inside. So what NWN is doing is to push us, to make us see that, oh, guys, there are opportunities out there. These are the things you need to do. But the real change can truly come from within. And I just want to encourage us. We are just 14 on this call. In the large group, we are much more than that. From the group, a lot of the group members are not responding and things like that. The truth is that the change that we desire can only come from us. We can only allow ourselves to be motivated, and be encouraged by this platform. But ultimately, we must make that decision by ourselves. So thank you so much for that opportunity once again. So I need to attend to my meeting.
Okay. No problem. Thank you so much, God bless you. So just like what Mrs. Priscilla said, we should also question these things. He arrived at them by questioning certain principles, questioning certain things. And that's the only way we'll be able to, grow and really improve our producing assets, as our producing capabilities by questioning the things our paradigms, our beliefs, and all of the things that we do on with, and even the things that are being shared. By questioning them, we'll now be able to find, the focal points, things to hold on to. Thank you so much, Ma. And it's been an awesome time together. So that will be the end of today's session, today's review session. But for this coming week, we'll be taking part 2, private victories, and habit 1, that's be proactive. So we'll be starting off with the habits fully, be proactive, which is the first one. And for next week Sunday, we'll be meeting here again next week Sunday to review these things and also to learn from each other and things to take back to also work with. Thank you so much for joining the call. Thank you, NWN, and do well to engage your team members and also share these things with them. Thank you, and have a great night rest.
Good night, good night, good night. Have a blessed week.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night, sir. Good night, everyone.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Good night. God bless you all.